Hey, this is Stacia, and as promised, we are going to now analyze my last training game, which is played against Hell KJLK, which, yeah, I don't know what that means. I thought it might be Denny Helmuth, and maybe it is, but who knows? It's some American rated 1800. I was rated 1832 for this game, and I played the black pieces. And well, let's have a look at this one. So in this game, he started with e4. I went e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to c4. We have the Italian game, and I love the move knight f6, which is the two knights defense. We're attacking the pawn, and now it's up to white how they want to deal with that. My opponent went knight g5, counterattacking on f7. Makes perfect sense to me. It also defends the pawn, by the way. All right, so I went d5. Oops, not d6. d5, which is the best move, of course, and after takes, I went knight to d4, and this is the Fritz variation. So I'll tell you that I find this move fun and interesting, but the more I play it, the more I understand that I kind of miss the knight a5 lines. These are very, very nice to play. And the idea is that after check, takes, we're down a pawn, but they might go to d3 or they might go to e2. There's other moves too, like queen f3, but all of these lines are quite comfortable, at least for me, to play as black because I'm down a pawn with lots of compensation. And I just love it. This knight is not going to live here. We're going to kick him out as well. The bishop's weird, trying desperately to keep control of e4. Like, okay, it's definitely a superior line. If you ask me, it's why it's the main line. But I played knight d4 because it's tricky and tactical and fun. And there's even a trap line. Actually, more than one can happen here. So, like, for example, some players, like in the game, they played here, attacking the knight, but some players get the idea that they can push their pawn and unleash this attack on f7, and they're sort of right. I can take here, and if you take with a knight, which makes a lot of sense, right? There's queen c6, which does attack the bishop, but more than that, it actually attacks g2. So, like, if you take the rook here, you just lose the game. Like, I don't even think I take the bishop. I just go here. And after rook f1, how about check? You can't block with the queen because I'll take you with a knight. So you go here, and then that's checkmate. So that's a nice little trap line. I have a 5-year-old student. Shout out to Amelia. She knows this line, and she even reminded me of it before she went back to Mexico for the summer. All right, so anyway, my opponent didn't do that here. They played c3, and that does attack my knight. And now we see the point of the Fritz variation, which is this move b5, attacking the bishop. So now we're more than willing to accept this trade of knight for bishop, and that is what my opponent did. And more than that, they even took here. Oh no, I didn't see that. No, just kidding, guys. This is still theory. Queen takes d5, pinning the pawn to the knight. My opponent played knight f3. So here, after knight f3, I'm out of book. If they take the knight, though, this is still like a line here. I even think they can take here and then just castle or something. Well, if they castle, I bet you we have bishop h3. That doesn't look pleasant. Not sure how you defend that. I guess queen f3. And then here, and then here. So I'm going to ask the engine what's going on here. It says it's about equal, black slightly better if they play queen g6. Okay. It just looks crazy to me. And if they check us, what am I doing? Bishop e6, of course. And if they want to trade queens, we're perfectly fine with that. We're going to take with our h-pawn, opening up the h-file for our rook. And I'll bet you that even though our pawns look ridiculous, we're going to go queenside. That's definitely the Fritz way to play this. So, okay. But in the game, they played knight to f3, and now I was out of book. I'm like, Okay, time to think for myself. A scary proposition. But seriously, what to do here? The problem is my knight is attacked, and if I go knight g4, which I did decide to do, I'm pretty sure, we have some issues, and I'll just put the pieces on the board for what I thought would happen. I just thought, like, for example, if they castle and I want to just like be like, yay, I win back the pawn. Well, then you lose the game because takes, rook e1. You're going to lose your queen. I'll verify with the engine. Yes, we're lost. Okay. So I did see that much. So after knight f3, if knight g4, I thought we have to have something else in mind here. Now I did go knight g4, and they played knight c3, which I didn't even consider, which is bad. We should, I mean, as chess players, we have a responsibility to see all checks and captures and tempo moves, like every single move. And yeah, it's a rapid game, but that's honestly no excuse. I should at least see that this move could happen in case it's good, right? If it's good, I better have seen it, because otherwise I lose the game. I didn't see this, but lucky for me, I thought queen c6 is fine. I'm going to see what the engine says about it. It likes queen d3 better. I considered this move, and I thought queen e2 was a response. And then I even thought about taking, if you watch my training game, you know I thought about this. Computer says black's better after bishop b7 here. Yeah, and I kind of stopped after trading queens. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to trade queens like down a pawn. But yeah, it turns out that we do have pressure on f7 here. I mean, well, not f7, but what do we have here? It's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we do have pressure on f7. Computer wants to play h3 to prevent, you know, bishop c5 and all that. But I would just think castles is a move. And then we're literally going to take this? Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that, but I guess we do win the pawn now. Yeah, so we're not down a pawn after all. So that's what I failed to see. But I mean, that's a long way down the line for a rapid game for a 1700 like myself. 1800. Sorry. Knight c3. So I played here. Also, it's more active. But computer hates it. I'm turning the computer back off. We don't care about the computer. Okay, h3 attacking my knight. So now the question is, can I take that pawn on e5? Because if I can, I absolutely should do it. And I did do it. Because I thought here, they can't take back because of queen takes g2. So after this, I did play here. And now the rook on h1 is hanging. So how are they going to respond to this? So they played check. Okay. Now, once again, big oversight by me. I didn't calculate this check, and that's terrible. So this is just for me as a player trying to get better. All the way back here, when I'm thinking about taking this pawn, I need to see that check here. Absolutely. Because if knight takes, queen takes, and I'm on their rook, I just thought rook f1, and that was the only move I considered. But that is not a check or a capture or any kind of forcing move. So that should be a red flag right there that I need to look around the board and see what white can do. And white indeed does have this check here, right? And they also have queen e2 I have to worry about, but it's not forcing enough. I just take with check, I think. So, okay. So this happens in this check. And now, lucky for me, this c6 move, I think, holds on. And I honestly thought I was a little worse here, though. So let's see what the engine says. Oh my gosh, this says +3, black's completely lost. Okay, thank you, Stockfish. I hate you. But it does say c6 is the best move. Other moves to consider were king d8, which I thought, you know, blundering a fork is bad. So let's not do that. But also king e7 I thought might be a move. But then there's this check. I still can't take that knight. It's protected. So what am I doing, right? Like, well, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm just fully evicting like this, and then I don't know. I can't bring myself to play this move. Wow, engine says this is good. You've got to be kidding me. King d6 on black is -2, it says. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, after I play here, it says -1. Okay, low depth stockfish doesn't understand this position either, so we're in good company here. So I went c6, which is supposed to be the best move. Wow, this is amazing. I wonder if this is true. I'm going to turn the engine back off, but the engine is telling me that rook h2 wins for white. Like, what? Is that possible? I think I see the point here. The point is to distract my queen off the defense of the c6 pawn. So, wow, you can sack a rook, I guess, and then take here, I imagine. And now it's very difficult. I can't go here because that's checkmate. So what am I doing? If I go here, they fork me, then take the rook. Like, yeah, this is rough. Holy. Okay, holy moly, that is moly. So don't like that line. Rook h2 I overlooked. I saw rook h2 briefly, but I did not see the idea behind it. Very powerful. c6 here, though. And my opponent took with a queen. I thought if they take with a knight, they will actually lose the game. Because I first take the rook, which already seems good. But then after this, bishop d7. That looks incredibly good. I'll see what the engine says. Yep, -6 for black. That's what I thought too. So I knew they couldn't take with a knight, but what if they take with a queen? Which is what they played in the game. I then have to take. I see no other option here. I'll check with the computer. Yep. And then I thought this is a game here. And wow, I was right. The computer says not triple zeros, but -0.07. Microscopic advantage for black. Yeah, okay, whatever. It just seems equalish to me. Seems like a game. I just call it a game. It's a game. So bishop b7. And now that knight is pinned to the rook. I didn't see this during the game either. So wow, that's the third major thing I missed in this game. I'm just getting lucky, I feel, these games. Something to work on for sure. I need to, I'm actually going to train forcing continuations. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to play through my own games on a real board and just calculate all the most forcing continuations, write down my moves. I've done this before. That's why I say this. And then only then check with the engine. It's a very time consuming and grueling process, but I have to tell you, when I've spent my time in the past doing that, I showed up to my next over the board tournament and I crushed it. I just crushed it more than once. So I think that sort of training was extremely useful, at least for me, but probably for a lot of people, I imagine, because what I'm doing is calculating the most forcing moves. That eliminates the most common blunders I can make, even if they're far in my calculations, which is the most common blunder I make. So knight d4 here. Yeah, and this is just a mistake, right? Like, why are you giving up your rook? It's better to give up a knight. I thought they would do something different here, like castle or something. But yeah, they went back here and gave me their rook. Maybe they thought they're going to castle queenside and attack my bishop, but I got news for you. Your dark square bishop, he's not happy with you at all. He's like, you're the worst chess player in history. I haven't moved. I've just been sitting here quietly watching you get crushed. Just let me out, please. And then you're like, oh, I can't because, you know, I'll get rid of that weak pawn black has. Okay, anyway, f3 in the game. This must have been their real idea, was to trap my bishop, but it doesn't work. I have bishop g2 right now, and I did decide to go for it. Now, I'll tell you that in the game, I really did want to play this, but I wasn't so sure. After knight c6, which does attack the rook. I guess here I can check them, though. But then king f1. And now my safe g2 square is gone. But on the other hand, I can take the pawn. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I didn't even calculate that in the game. But I had 6 minutes, so I was trying to go a little faster. Unfortunately, that's what you have to do in rapid games. So check here. Wait, did this happen? No, this did not happen. F3, bishop g2 is what I chose. Just avoiding the whole issue. Now I'm on this pawn, I'm on this pawn. You're definitely not playing king f1. Okay, so they bring their knight in. They're going to fork me. Luckily, I saw that and castled. Check. But now I had some ideas with king b7. And I really thought this move was strong here, rook d6. I'm going to check with the engine. Oh, I'm happy to see it's the top engine move, because it's so unnatural to put this in front of our bishop, right? Like, we don't want to limit the scope of our bishop this way, but concretely, I'm attacking that knight. And I thought if he comes here, I could go here. And on check, I was planning this. I kind of forgot they'll take my rook, though. So honestly, in hindsight, I think that after this check, probably the right move was, could it be king a6? They still win the pawn, though, right? They win the pawn. But then I would win their knight. So they can't do that. So then I'm just attacking two things, this and this. I bet you that's the thing. So I'll check with the engine now. After check, yeah, king a6 is the best. So I blundered here. Because after this, we take that knight. That's what I was saying. And if you move that knight, I take this knight. So yeah, you can't do any of that. So that just wins. Unfortunately for me, I talked myself into this move, blundering the fork. And now it's not so simple. Yeah, I'm forking the knights, but now they take that. Okay, but even here, I didn't give up because, I mean, okay, I'm down 2 pawns, but on the other hand, I have 2 bishops and I'm way more active. This bishop and rook, they look like Morphe versus Doofus, right? Like, or Doofus versus Morphe, I should say. You know, white versus black. Because those pieces haven't moved and it's gonna be a while before this rook sees the light of day. So d4, check. And now you're gonna see the power of the 2 bishops, which even I didn't understand how strong it was. But this game has talked me into it because I started seeing ideas that are just really good. And they end up winning too. So 2 bishops are amazing. That's my take on this. So after this move, he's attacking my bishop. I go here, attacking the pawn, and now check. And I thought, oh no, I'm in trouble. They're going to play rook g1, skewering my bishops. Pinning, skewering, puring, skinning? Skinning my bishops. Let's go with that. They're skinning them alive. So, okay, after king c4, check, king d5. Okay, now I'm prepared to meet rook g1 with a different move. They didn't play it, but I thought with rook g1, I had an idea here. What was it? What was my idea? It's some kind of idea. Please tell me I had an idea. I really did. I just can't remember what it was now. Huh. Oh, yeah, it was rook e8 check, of course. Rook e8 check, and then here, and then here. This is my idea. Because now I rescue my bishop with check, and I'm going to move my g3 bishop next. And also their king's getting kind of uncomfortable. So I'm not really sure what they should do here. Like if they go here, you know, we can check them. it's getting pretty bad, right? Like, I don't know. And this kind of happens in the game. Yeah, I'm looking at moves, but I shouldn't calculate this position. All right, so Rook C8 check, or I'm sorry, Rook C5 check is what he chose in the game. Attacking my king. So King D6 and Rook G5. Pretty strong move because it does attack. It skins my bishops alive again. And it also attacks G7. So I check the king, because what else? The nice thing about the bishops like this is that they do create a very nice wall. Anyone who can mate with two bishops knows this, because we do this. And King D3, Bishop E4 check. So I'm still using the same device to save my bishops. But after King C3, I just have to move my bishop away, and he does win the G-pawn. So here I made a radical decision to play Bishop G6, entombing the rook on G7. This does pay off. Computer does not like this move. I'm looking at the computer. But to me, it was the best move. I also considered playing check here. And I thought they might be getting mated, but I wasn't exactly sure how. Yeah, I don't know. Like here and what this. If you come back, I have that. I also have moves like this and this. So maybe I take the knight and then play here just to win the rook, stuff like that. I was seeing stuff, but I wasn't sure about it. But what I was sure about is that that rook is entombed and can't move anymore. So I liked that. And it did pay off, even though the computer hates it. But, you know, Stockfish like sees 10 moves ahead and they see how to keep the initiative and rescue their rook. When you're playing against a human player, I feel like this is like a reasonable option. So let's see. They could have gone King C4 here, according to Stockfish. But they went check. And now King D5, though. Yeah, and that probably was a mistake because now that ties down their knight to the pawn. They go here, though, giving me this check. Yeah, and this is where things go very wrong. And I started seeing right here, I'm like, wow, like, can I just checkmate them? Like, what's going on here? Can I checkmate them? Because the two bishops are so strong. Notice that I'm guarding like all these light squares here. And after this check, I'm guarding a bunch of dark squares. I call this the bishop square of death. And with rook c8 coming in, it really is the bishop square of death. I mean, this is like ridiculous, right? And then this bishop could come here, get that one. Yeah, like that king's getting mated. It's kind of ridiculous. So after this, I just have rook c8 check. And yeah, sorry, you cannot protect your knight. Two bishops are very strong. King b3, and I win a piece. And we probably don't have to look at too much more. So I'll just show the rest of the game. a4. I attack the rook because I realized it can't move at all. So he sacks the exchange. That's fine. Now I just have to make sure that, I mean, basically, if you're in a winning position in chess, you want to stop your opponent's counterplay. It's one of the main things you could do. And given that they have two connected passed pawns, if I can stop those, then I'm good to go. This move actually does help because I'm planning to trade those off. And if they want to continue pushing this, I will definitely win it with the rook. So that's exactly what happens. Yeah, and in this position, they resigned. Computer says -7, so fair enough. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this game overall, but not happy with the fact that I missed 3 very forcing continuations or just moves in general. So like, that's definitely a big sign to me that I need to go back to my roots and look at, just calculate forcing variations, like maybe even go as simple as identify every single check and capture in a position, even tempo move, like a bishop attacking a rook or a pawn attacking a queen or whatever. threats and just calculate move by move every single variation. I used to do this and I felt it was helpful, so I do plan to go back to that. But just to wrap up, I'm going to do the bar graph of the game. Looks like I was completely lost at some point, which is pretty unfortunate. Oh, wait. Yeah, I was. So we'll just go into the review just to check our analysis. And if you want to end the video now, of course, that's fine. I just like doing this to wrap things up. So this is theory. Knight f3 was a mistake. They should have gone castles. Okay, castles is a better move. Yeah, that's interesting. It's very interesting. That just leaves the pin. It's a very computer move because of that. I would think bishop e7 here. But okay, whatever. Let's just continue. Then they can go knight f3 though. Just an improvement from the game. Queen c6 was a mistake. Computer wanted me to go into that line with queen d6 and even trade queens because we still have compensation. We even win our pawn back. Okay, bishop e7, only good move. I mean, this is one of those like lucky things though, honestly, because I didn't see this in my calculation and I was kind of lucky it was there. Otherwise I would have been lost. So I guess, you know, I'm not that happy with this game. Knight d4, of course I take. Yeah, king b6, definitely a huge oversight. Just missing the fork. It's pretty obvious, but I did miss it when I was calculating. All right, and then we keep going. Okay, and it's still like equalish here. Likes white's play here. Wow, gives them like a lot of great moves in a row. I thought bishop f2 was a mistake. Interesting. I'm threatening to kick a rook. There's only one good move for you. I missed an opportunity to threaten winning a rook. So was I supposed to go bishop h4? I was. Oh. Why though? I don't really get it. If here, I guess I go here. And then what if they go here? I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, so whatever. I'll just keep going. Yeah, they kind of helped me here. And then bishop e5 is a blunder because of what happened in the game. And I'm happy that I did notice it. I noticed that their king's getting mated here. And it causes them to lose a piece. So that's exactly what happens. And that's basically the story of the game. And that's how I beat someone. Rated 1800 with 41 seconds on my clock, even though they had 9 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.